So I got a question this morning from a viewer that wanted to know, how do you get the 1000 grit stone so clean? And the truth is, I don't really use that stone that often because it's made for really sharp jobs like fillet knives or razor blades, but I have used it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more material into this stone. I'm going to put a razor edge on this case back pocket, and I'm going to really try to fill up this stone with residue and shavings from the stainless steel. We'll see how dirty we can get it, and then I'll try to find out the best way of cleaning it up. Okay, so I've been working on this knife for about 10 minutes now, and it's ridiculously sharp. As you can see, the stone is bogged down pretty good with powdered metal. So we're going to see if we can get this back to the way it looked originally. Find out the best method for that. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is just take a little toilet paper. Before I add any oil, I'm just going to see how much of this powder I can get off. Make sure I got that in focus. It doesn't take much at all. Looks like it's, most of it's staying in there. A little bit's coming off. Not much. Just go straight to the oil here. Put a line on there like that. Use a finger to loosen it up. You don't have to rub it that hard, just a little gentle pressure. You can already see the oil starting to come out of it. Excuse me, the powder starting to come out of the stone. Come in there, do it again. You can see it's still in there though. I mean, it's not getting it all out, but it's getting a lot of it. Use a clean rag or tissue. Turn it as you wipe it. Try a third application here. I'll tell you what we're gonna do next, because I can still see some residual powder on the stone. So we're gonna try one final method here to see if we can get it really white. Tissue is still turning gray though, which means it is cleaning the stone. That's not bad. That would definitely be functional at this point. All right, I'll be right back. Let's try one more method. All right, so I thoroughly washed my hands, and what I've got here is just a boiling cup of filtered water. Put it in the microwave for about 2.5 minutes. What I'm gonna do now is just take this stone and just set it down in that hot water. Let that sit for a minute. See if that'll loosen up the oils, maybe help the process along. While that sits, I just want to give a recommendation. You know, like I said earlier, if you're using the 1000 grit stone, it's really for blades that require a very fine edge, like a fillet knife or razor blade or some other sort of knife that needs to be very, very sharp. Typically, I'll use a lower grit stone for utility knives. Gets the job done, and that toothier edge kind of holds longer than a very fine razor sharp edge. Another thing I can recommend though is if you are going to use the 1000 grit, make sure you move through the lower stones first before you get to that point. Let the lower stones, the lower grit stones, do the work of removing the metal, and then make that 1000 grit your final step. All right, let's see if this helps out at all here. Yeah, as you can see, that's removing even more, so it is working. So there's no soap in this, it's just hot water, and that's it's working pretty good. And anytime you turn that rag or that tissue after wiping and you see that there's gray on there, it means you're getting the stone clean. So I'll work on this for a few more minutes and I'll get back to you with the final thoughts. All right guys, so there you go. It pretty much looks like the day I got it. The hot water method works pretty good. And like I said, I didn't put any soap or detergents in it. I considered it maybe a drop, but then I actually said that's probably not a good idea. I mean, if you think about, you know, soap scum and the residue of soap and the fact that these stones are porous, it's just going to seep down into it and you might not get it all out. It might actually make matters worse. So just hot water, hot filtered water would be the safest bet. Appreciate the idea for the video, Steve, and thanks for watching.